What's up, guys? Endgame back with some more best ball draft mania. We're gonna do best ball mania 5. Welcome to those who just jumped over from the baseball stream. That's right, Endgame baseball. Angelo in the house, Tris, of course, multi-sport fantasy athlete. Anybody who just now joining right now, you can draft with us if you are quick, because we're gonna jump into a BBM 5, another one on Underdog. You know, we're still partnered with Underdog for everything. And part of what you get if you join Underdog using promo code Endgame is those special picks. They always have things for new customers. Plus, your first time deposit offer, you get up to $250 still in bonus cash. So if you haven't joined Underdog, this is still a great time to do it. And if you already have an Underdog account, you already know all about Best Ball Mania. Try to jump in here with us. We're going to do another live draft. We'll see how that ADP has changed. We'll see who we're going after, who we've got a lot of exposure to. If you guys want to join us, let's do it right now. We're going to jump in there. All right. So get on that Underdog app or just go to underdogfantasy.com. You see right there in the lobby, you'll see it, Best Ball Mania 5. And we're going to do 30 seconds per pick. Chris, you ready?
I'm ready. I'm going to do it on my phone here, so.
Right. All right. 1, 2, 3. Get in there. Let's see if we can get some more end gamers in here.
So it says we still need 7 more. Is that correct?
Yeah. All right. There's spots. All right, guys. Let's see who can get in there. All right. Of course, we'll show you how the draft board shakes out, no matter who's in here. We'll see what spot we get. You're hoping for a certain draft spot today?
I always hope for a late spot, but I'm kind of hoping for like 10 or 11 because I want to see, because Puka just got hurt in practice, but it doesn't sound too serious. I do wonder if we could start getting second round Puka.
These things do happen. I mean, that was just what, today that injury happened?
Just today, just this afternoon. I think actually while we were streaming for baseball, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so maybe people here don't really know yet. Although it's interesting already, I've seen Puka now is going behind AJ Brown, which I feel like that was reversed earlier.
Yeah, AJ Brown, I noticed that too. He's gotten a lot of steam. He's now locked in as a no doubt top 10 pick on pretty much like most sites, actually. And look who has the number 1 pick.
Hey, not complaining. And one thing, even though the ADP doesn't show it, I feel like in the last couple of drafts I've joined, I noticed Jamar Chase isn't going, even though it says 4.4, he isn't going 4th anymore. People are starting to get a little nervous about that, holdout and contract, or he's holding in, right? It's holding in, some are holding out.
I don't know why that.
But I've seen Chase go 6 or 7 a couple of times, so people do react to this. But I don't see a little star. There's nothing on Puka's name, so I don't know if people will even know about this injury.
Yeah, they might not. It might be too soon. Might be too soon. And we got John the Catch in here, and he's very happy about the Rachaad White on the thumbnail. We'll see if he gets Rachaad White tonight.
There you go.
Tyreek Hill at the 3. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, I'm on the clock at the 4.
You could take Chase or no?
I mean, in a vacuum, I'd probably go Amon-Ra here. But again, I don't like getting too reachy. I don't really feel like I've had a lot of... Actually, I'm going to go Chase. I don't feel like I've had a ton of Jefferson. The reason the reason I went Chase there, this is the legit, honest reason why I go Chase. It's because it's easier to stack him with Burrow. With Jefferson, I never know who to stack. And you don't have to stack your number 1 wide receiver, but am I going to take Darnold? Am I going to take McCarthy? I don't even know who I'm going to take. Probably neither, honestly, when I draft Jefferson. Probably neither.
Yeah, neither one. That's the case. Well, then what you could do is you wind up, one thing I've done lately is I'll stack with my tight end, depending on who it is. Like the Kyler Murray, McBride stack, that's a good one. If you draft Evan Engram, you could always get Trevor Lawrence later, or like Pitts and Cousins, that kind of thing.
So,
But yeah, I did see draft that just started yesterday. Sun God went fourth, and I wound up getting Chase at like pick 7. So everyone's different.
yeah, you know me. I just don't like. In a redraft league, I might go Sun God there. In a redraft league, I almost certainly go Sun God or Jefferson over Chase. But
Right.
I don't like to reach for guys in the first round because then you end up, like I said, if you're going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown over Jefferson and Chase, that means every time you're on the clock at pick 3, at pick 4, at pick 5, and at pick 6, you're probably going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown. So you're going to end up with a bunch of Amon-Ra St. Brown and very little Chase and Jefferson because, like, how often are Chase and Jefferson going to make it to pick 7 or 8? You know what I mean? And then what happens if Jamar Chase goes for 1,700 yards and 15 touchdowns this year? And you didn't draft any Jamar Chase because you were taking Amon-Ra St. Brown all the time. Like, so.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, no Puka for you. Did not drop in this draft. 11. Pick 11.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just happened, so yeah.
Look, this maybe, no, I'm not going to even say it. This has got to be connected to training camp hype. Malik Neighbors at 15 overall. I mean, come on.
What
are we doing?
That's not his normal ADP, right?
I know. I mean, it's going up, but no, his ADP is 26. This guy took him 15.
Yeah, definitely. That's I mean, he's got a shield. Oh, is this how I feel like this is how I started a draft on last time? Did I go Chase Olave last time? I feel like I did. Or maybe I did. Maybe I went Chase Waddle. I'm going to go Olave here. Can't remember if I went Chase Olave or Chase Waddle. One of my recent drafts.
I think you probably went Waddle. Yeah, either way, I feel like Olave is a good value there.
And it's very easy to stack him with Derek Carr.
Nice. All right. Well, speaking of Waddle, didn't think he'd fall to me, but he did. All right. I'm going to practice what I preach. This is best ball, so I really don't feel too worried. Look, I don't have that much DK Metcalf. I'm going to take him here, 25 versus 27. Devontae, Evans, Kupp, those guys do have some level of concern, I guess. So,
all right, I actually was going to go Devontae Adams here just for the bring back with Olave.
Oh, okay.
And because I'm probably not going to draft a lot of. I'm going to go. I feel like this is how I started a draft. Like, I did a stream. What was that stream? Was it like Tuesday? I feel like this is exactly how I started I feel like I started this team exact same way, which isn't good.
Chase, Olave, Henry. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I certainly don't hate it. Like I said, I would have gone Devontae Adams there. Not that I'm high on Devontae Adams, but he does give me the bring back with Olave in week 17, and I don't have a lot of Adams, but he didn't make it to me, so we'll go with Henry.
Tristram asking why Metcalf. Well, just talked about Metcalf on a recent video.
Today?
Which one was that?
Today? Today's video.
Today's video. There you go. So check today's video on the Endgame Football channel. See what I think about Metcalf. Now, there is some concern about Geno Smith. So obviously that happened after we filmed, but I don't know.
But I think everything came back okay with Geno Smith, and they said he should be fine. So,
yeah. I mean, it's not like his season is over. Okay, let's get some of these. Adam says he doesn't understand Gibbs as a first rounder. Monty's still there. Do you feel like Gibbs should be a first rounder? We've talked on and off about Gibbs. Look, it was hard for me to really kind of swallow Gibbs as a first rounder. I've gotten there, but especially in best ball. But do you still think Gibbs, even in a redraft league, either way, Gibbs, what's the rationale?
I do. And this, like, we get this question a lot, and I get it. Like, you look at Montgomery last year, he was okay. He wasn't bad. But you look at Montgomery last year, he did a lot of his best games. Well, all of his best games were early in the season when Gibbs, because like I drafted Gibbs in a couple leagues in round 3 last year, and I remember the frustration, like Monty getting like 20 carries, all the goal line work, and Gibbs getting like 10 touches, and it's like, oh man, what have I done? Right? Like I totally messed up here. But that's because Gibbs was a rookie, and they had to build the trust. You look at it down the stretch and in the NFL playoffs, Monty barely playing even 50% of the snaps down the stretch. So even if that continues, even if it's like 50-50, I still vastly prefer Gibbs because A, Gibbs is the type of guy who can hit a home run on any play, and B, Gibbs is going to catch all the passes in this offense as far as running backs go. Let's go with the full. Let's go all in Bengals here. Let's go all in Bengals in this one. Like Gibbs is the kind of guy that can have 70 plus catches, and I think I talked about this stat last year, like in regards to Rachaad White, who, by the way, I was like, I did my like this year's Josh Jacobs video, and I said I think I'm going to go with Rachaad White just because of the pass catching. Now, Rachaad White was not as good as Josh Jacobs was 2 years ago, but he was much better than people thought. I think the stat is something like if a running back gets 70 plus targets, they finish as a top 5 running back in PPR leagues now, mind you. Like 85% of the time, or 80, it's some ridiculous number because that's just such a massive advantage, right? Like 60, 70 catches in a PPR league is just such a massive advantage. Gibbs has that potential. I mean, even last year he had what, 50 plus something, I think. And again, he was not playing a lot of snaps early in the year, remember? So I really think we see Gibbs as the 1A to Monty's 1B, with Gibbs as the guy who gets all basically of the receptions. I mean, Montgomery only 16 catches last year. Like, you're talking about one a game. Not even one a game. Well, he did miss a couple games, but like one a game basically. So that's why I like Gibbs. Plus Gibbs, and Gibbs also, like, that was my big concern with Gibbs coming into. All right, we're going a very wide receiver heavy team tonight. That was also my worry with Gibbs coming into the NFL, was like, hey, this guy didn't get goal line carries in college. He's too small. He got goal line carries. He got red zone work last year. The Lions trusted him with that. So I just think we see Gibbs take over. I mean, Monty will still be serviceable, but I just think Monty's like a touchdown dependent floor play this year, personally. That's how I feel.
That's exactly right. And again, in best ball, Adam, I'm assuming you're talking specifically here. Yeah, Gibbs definitely gives you those spike weeks. That's what you're looking for. Okay, these guys just got taken. Marcus wants to know, T. Higgins or Zay Flowers? Zay Flowers' ADP is higher, but who do you personally prefer? I guess let's assume same round or around their ADP. You took T. Higgins, but was that because you're going all Bengals for this, or you just prefer T. Higgins in general?
Well, Zay Flowers wasn't on the board. I think I took Pickens in my last draft, so I don't think I've really gotten much Higgins. I just decided to go with Higgins. Plus, I already have Chase, so hopefully I can get Burrow, have the stack there, the big time stack. I prefer Zay Flowers. He's the number one wide receiver for the Ravens. I talk about Higgins on Tuesday's video. Players your league mates are scared to draft, basically, that you shouldn't be. Because I do think Higgins is going to be better this year. Like, A, let's remember last year he only played 12 games. He missed some time with injury. B, Joe Burrow only played, 5 or 6 games, and he wasn't even good in those 5 or 6 games because he wasn't healthy. And he's playing for a contract next year. It might not be with the Bengals, but he's trying to play to show other teams, like, hey, I'm a franchise wide receiver. You need to pay me. So I think we see a very good T. Higgins this year. I'm not scared to draft him at all. But in a vacuum, I take Zay Flowers slightly over T.
Yeah, I'll take Zay Flowers still. I'd rather have the guy who's the number one receiver in his offense than the number two. Also, I've mentioned some slight concerns with T. Higgins this year. I'm going to go Flowers. Now, this one doesn't really matter as far as hold in, hold out, whatever. It was always Hill over Chase, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is like, do you want $1 million or $999,000? Like, whatever, just give me one of them, right? It's like, come on, like we're talking about, like, but I'm going Hill over Chase here because, look, back-to-back years, 1,700 yards. He's in that Dolphins offense. He didn't show any signs of slowing down last year, other than like down the stretch after he had that ankle injury, which slows everybody down. An ankle injury slows everybody down. So I'm going to give Tyreek Hill the edge here. But like, yeah, it's like you can't go wrong with either of these guys.
Hill is the choice, but Chase is perfectly fine consolation prize, if you want to call it that way. So there you go. Try Boy Sports.
Ooh, I was gonna go Rachaad White there and snipe John. You know what? Let's just keep going. Let's just keep chasing that upside. Let's go.
What is up, Danny? Danny G. Yes, Best Ball Mania 5. Another one.
Yes, it is.
All right, and then Omar, get to your question as soon as I pick my two, but I guess you can start on this. I took Pickens. I love Pickens. What do you expect from him is the question.
I expect some highs, some lows. I think Pickens in best ball is a great pick. I think he could have 5, 6 big games this year. I think he could have 5, 6 miserable games this year. And by miserable, I'm talking like single-digit fantasy points where you're like, oh, why did I start George Pickens? So in redraft, I'm not taking as many shots on Pickens at his ADP because I do feel like it's a little too high for me. But in best ball, I think he's a great pick.
I'm going to go actually with a... Actually, no, I'm not. So I'm going to take a player I don't have much of. No, I'm not going to take Joe Mixon. I just can't. I'm going to take Aaron Jones. I expect better things out of him. I don't know how much, if I have Brian Thomas at all. I took him just for a little differentiation there. I normally would take JSN right around that range. I already have DK. So I'm mixing it up.
I'm just convinced I'm not going to get Evan Ingram in any drafts this year.
Got sniped.
I knew he was going to take him because I know he likes Evan Ingram too. Man. I already have 5 wide receivers.
Was that John who sniped you on Ingram?
Yeah, that was John.
But he already had McBride, so that was just out of pure spite.
Oh, that's just spite. No, I know he likes to do like double early tight end. I think he likes to do double early tight end. Yeah, he does already have McBride. Wow.
He could have gone Kyler to get the stack there. That's what he figured it on. Oh well. Best. This is
tight end QB stack.
Hey,
Josh Allen, Dalton Kincaid. Easy.
I talked about it at the beginning. Yes, Allen Kincaid. I think Pitts and Cousins in this format will be profitable. Do you think Ingram and Lawrence?
Because I don't know how good Lawrence is going to be. I mean, look, tight end QB stacks are rarely that great. Just because the tight end is rarely that great, right? Like even if you had Goff and Laporta last year, like how good was that really? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like maybe if you had Mahomes, Kelsey back in the day, okay, yeah. But
well, I think the best QB tight end stack for me, where they're going, is McBride Murray. I think the best value, if you're waiting, could be Dak and Jake Ferguson. I think that's a sneaky good stack. Okay, let's see. Legit question. Really legit question.
okay.
Is Cam Akers back?
No. I mean, look, good for him. Obviously, always root for guys like that. You want to see him overcome that. But let's not forget, it's a Hall of Fame game. It's like he's playing against guys that probably won't be on the NFL roster. And I don't even know if Cam Akers, sadly, will be on the NFL roster come cut down day. So, yeah, I don't think he's back, unfortunately.
No, but I think now at least I have an excuse to take him with my last pick. So.
Just because it's like you could justify it now?
I can justify it now.
All right. If this guy takes Joe Burrow, I might lose my mind, but he shouldn't. Okay, nope. Perfect. I get Joe Burrow at ADP with the stack. I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go. At least you got it. You got that in there. Don't know. Well, let's see. Jonathan Brooks is next on the board. Now, Canales just announced what we kind of already suspected. He's not going to be out there in the preseason. Probably won't be out there first couple of weeks of the season. Yeah. Does that matter? It's just pretty much what you expected anyways, right?
Yeah. If you listen to any of the videos where I talk about Jonathan Brooks, I say this is a second half play. You're going to have to be patient. He's coming off ACL. So him being out there week 3 or week 4, I think would be a win. Now, if he's out there week 3 or week 4, please don't put him in your fantasy lineup if you have Jonathan Brooks. He's going to be like anybody coming back from ACL, plus even a rookie. He's going to be on a snap count. They're going to ease him in. This is a guy, like, I think in this format is okay because you're hoping he's healthy for that stretch run and you're hoping you advance with him. And it's the guy you might want to stash on your bench, assuming you have deep enough benches, again, and hope that he gets healthy as the season goes on. And look, if Chuba Hubbard was the guy last year, but Chuba Hubbard wasn't like great or anything. He just was the best of what they had, basically. Yeah. So you're hoping that by, season's end or close to it, he takes over as the guy. So, all right, this is why I don't mind having a ton of wide receivers by this point, because there's a lot of running backs I like on the board, but I don't think I've gotten Brian Robinson yet in draft, so let's go with him.
I definitely know I have Brian Robinson in several leagues, but I still like the value here at running back, even wherever it falls to me. I feel pretty good. I'll get somebody as my decent RB3. I do, and maybe we'll take him. Let me see, where is it? JSC. I just saw it. Jordan Love, Luke Musgrave. I see it being a thing. Do you see it being a thing?
I see it being a thing, but I don't think it's going to be like a stack you look back on and be like, wow, so glad I have that stack. Just because, I like Luke Musgrave, but let's say Luke Musgrave is like a top 7 or 8 tight end this year, which is great for where you're drafting him. It's not like the kind of thing where you're like, wow, what a stack. You know what I mean? It's more like, hey, I got Luke Musgrave with my last pick or off the waiver wire, and he was pretty good. So, again, it's very rare that there's a QB tight end stack that you're really like, wow, I'm really glad I had that QB tight end stack. Again, Mahomes Kelsey is the one that comes to mind, but that's just because Kelsey was a freak of nature as far as a fantasy tight end, and Mahomes was a freak of nature at QB. So I think if there's going to be a pair to do it this year, it's going to be Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid.
There you go. No, I definitely agree with that. Like Kincaid. Musgrave. I'm not taking Musgrave as my starting tight end, though. Let's just be clear. As much as I've talked about Musgrave, I don't think he should be a tight end 1 unless you're really, really, really waiting on tight end and you just want to take somebody with upside. Fine. But there are a lot of mouths to feed there in that Packers receiving core. Yeah, look, this is a good point. Goff Laporta was insane because people didn't know Laporta was going to be the tight end 1 and he was drafted late. Now, right. I as much as I like Musgrave, I don't see a path for him to be the tight end 1 like Laporta. I see a path for Kincaid, and that's what I've been talking about. He could be the tight end 1. Kyle Pitts could be the tight end 1, but you're drafting him, somewhat early, definitely earlier than Laporta was taken. I mean, is there any tight ends? Not that you expect, but you think it's even possible that's going where Laporta was going last year in that range this year, that could be the tight end one.
I mean, where was Laporta going? Where was Laporta going in best ball drafts last year? Because I unfortunately did not do any best ball drafts last year, so I'm not sure.
Let's see. You're on the clock, by the way.
Yeah. So if you look outside, maybe like I'm guessing he's probably going out like around 10 or later. Around 10 or later would be my guess. So I guess like in this kind of range, I think maybe Freiermuth. Honestly, coming around on Freiermuth.
Muth, yeah, definitely could. I mean, I like Musgrave. We've heard. Yeah. I mean, we're talking like top scoring fantasy tight end. I can't. Yeah, I can't go with guys like Tyler Conklin.
But if you and I've talked about this. Yeah, so Danny's saying he's a last round because that's the thing. When he went to Detroit, people were like, they weren't as excited. The thing about like the tight end one, and again, eliminate Travis Kelce, who like for those whatever years where he was an absolute monster. The tight end one generally scores around 14 points per game in PPR, and half PPR is probably more like 12 or 13, I would guess. And it's usually due almost entirely to touchdowns. Like you look at, I've talked about this many times. People are like, Kyle Pitts, bum. Kyle Pitts had 200 more receiving yards than Sam Laporta as a rookie. But he only had 1 touchdown that year. Laporta had 10. Now, obviously that matters. But the point is like the tight end one could just be somebody who randomly this year, finds the end zone just over and over again that nobody really expected. So,
True.
I do kind of need tight end, but it feels a little early here. Not that early. I'm going to go. I am coming around on Muth. So if somehow Pat Freiermuth scores 10 touchdowns this year in that Arthur Smith offense, which we know Arthur Smith likes to use his tight ends in weird ways around the goal line. That could be it. I mean, really, that like I don't think people realize the razor edge between the tight end 1 and like the tight end 7, like how close it really is. Again, discounting the years when Kelce was dominating, but like on a normal year, like even last year, you look at last year, like you give Sam Laporta 5 touchdowns last year, he's just kind of good. He's just kind of good in fantasy.
Yeah, the situation has to be right. And I mean, with Laporta, it's because after the Sun God, who was their number 2, number 3 receiver? It wasn't. It was just a bunch of guys. Jameson Williams, of course, suspended, then barely involved. Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, he became their number 2 target, partly because of that. I'm not taking anything away from Laporta. Obviously, a very talented, great tight end. But the situation has to be right. So who is in that situation? I could see actually the guy I'm coming around. I wouldn't say coming around. I've always liked David Njoku, but I'm starting to get higher on. He's a guy who's being taken kind of a fringe top 10 tight end who I think could make a big leap this year. We saw it toward the end of last year. There were some stats posted by, I think it was Scott Barrett, as far as Cleveland and how high their neutral, game rate of passing was. I mean, with Nick Chubb out, they're going to continue probably to pass the ball a lot. So, yeah, I like Njoku as a guy who could make another bigger leap.
All right, I'm going to do something a little interesting here. Oh, wait. Where's Kirk Cousins going these days? Has Kirk Cousins already been picked? What the heck? Okay, scratch that.
Yep, he was picked 134.
What the heck? Doesn't he normally go later than that?
Yeah, 10 picks ahead of ADP.
All right, well, I need running back. I was going to actually go Mooney there and then try to get Cousins on the way back, but he's gone. So there goes that strategy.
All right.
So I'm probably only going to go one more wide receiver. That's why I didn't go wide receiver there.
Too soon for J.K. Dobbins.
Very too soon. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that I'm like, I just will not draft them, but he's sadly one of them. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe he'll overcome ACL and Achilles.
It's possible. Man, I don't like. You know what? Let's take Monique. No. Okay, that was an auto pick, but oh well, that's fine.
I like Conklin actually.
Yeah, that's sooner than I wanted him though.
All right, we'll just keep hammering the RBs here. I'm probably only going, like I said, I'm probably only going one more wide receiver. Definitely going a 3 tight end build.
Yeah, Jesse, it was with Flacco. That is true, but again, I don't know if it was necessarily because switching from Deshaun Watson to Flacco out of necessity. They're like, oh, you should pass a lot more because it's Joe Flacco. I think it's more because the running game was not very effective because of Chubb. So I mean, it could be something to do with that, but we'll see.
I have no idea who I'm going to go out with QB2. It's going to be unstacked. That's for sure.
And it's okay. Doesn't have to be stacked. You don't want to force a stack, but I happen to stack 2 quarterbacks. But again, I felt like I got them pretty much right where I should have.
Well, actually, I could go. I forgot about that. Okay, I could go with him. Although when is his buy? Make sure he doesn't have the same buy. Okay. Always got to check
that's
that.
Where I screwed myself with that Conklin pick is now I need another tight end because he has the same buy as Dalton Kincaid.
Ooh, that does hurt. Or you could just take the 0 that week at tight end. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah, I could, but that's okay. I'm only taking 2 quarterbacks as usual.
I prefer 2 quarterbacks if possible.
Oh yeah. Wow, someone has faith in Quentin Johnson.
I mean, someone's got to draft him, right?
I mean, do we have to draft him still?
All right, I was gonna go Henry there. I don't understand the Noah Fant hype, but I have 0 Noah Fant. Let's go.
Yeah, it's hard for me to buy into a guy who's been in the league several years and still yet to break out, but you never know. All right.
Well, also they still have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and JSN there. So, but
well, exactly. Okay, definitely like me some Kamani Vidal there. Not because of the Puka injury, but I like DeMarcus Robinson anyways. I know you do too.
You just sniped John right there. Yeah, I like DeMarcus Robinson.
All right, question from Alex B. Does draft strategy change all when leagues have more teams? He's going to be in a 16-teamer this year.
No, I wouldn't say it changes. I just think yeah, I don't think it changes at all. I just think it really benefits. I shouldn't say it benefits, but I mean, you just got to really. I think it really just puts an emphasis on knowing those late round sleepers that could break out, because obviously everybody knows, like, we know who the top 50 or so players are, and whether it's a 16 teamer, I mean, sure, okay, it might be the first 3 rounds of your draft instead of the first 4 or 5 rounds of your draft. But I mean, you're gonna have, you got to get deep in a 16 team league, and man, if you find, like, if you're in a 16 teamer, I mean, obviously if you had like Puka or Kyron or Nico Collins last year, it was a big advantage no matter what your league. But imagine that in a 16 team league, like it's like, haha, you guys are done, right?
Yeah. I think, not that we advocate playing it safe. Like, you always go for upside. You need that upside. But I will say this: that you can't depend on the waiver wire as much in a 16 teamer. Like, less guys out there, more competition to get those players who flash early. So you don't want to swing and miss too much in your draft. I want to make sure that I get a stable core of receivers for sure. And I think with a position like quarterback, I'm waiting. I don't I don't need Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. There's plenty of serviceable. There's 16 quarterbacks you could start and feel okay about in fantasy and still get you by, right? There's not that many running backs you can feel great about after those first running backs go off the board. But also with tight end, I think you need to obviously not wait too long unless you're just completely punting that position. There are not 16 tight ends I feel comfortable starting in fantasy. So I don't want to be the last guy to take a tight end unless you truly are just like, forget it, I'm punting tight end, I'm streaming. And even then, in a 16 teamer, would you want to stream tight end out the year? That's a huge pain.
Yeah. We like Franklin or Marvin Mims more?
Mims. I think he's got the edge on the starting job.
Ooh, all right, let's do it. I don't have any Mims. Get my bring back for week 17.
Yeah, I need to think week 17. So I got Packers and Dolphins stacked. That means I already have Vikings. I already have Aaron Jones. I'm good there. Dolphins play the Browns. Ooh, I didn't take a Brown yet.
Ooh, there is a Brown wide receiver going very late that I really like.
Yeah. Make sure I don't time out here. Not Elijah Moore.
Not Elijah Moore. Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, I'll get him on the way back.
Ooh, you hope. I mean, I'm not taking him, but
all right. Thoughts? Ace Filmer 92. Thoughts on going RB with a 10th and 15th pick in PPR?
It's fine, depending on who the RB is. If you're in a non-PPR league, it's a must. But if you're in a half PPR or PPR league, I wouldn't just say I'm going RB. Like, if you get to pick 10 and Breece Hall or Bijan Robinson is still on the board, take one of them. And then if it comes back to you at pick 15 and Jonathan Taylor or Jahmyr Gibbs is still on the board, I'd be fine taking one of those running backs. But, like, I'm not going to go RB. Like, I'm not going to just say I'm going RB and then, you get it's pick 10 and then you're like, well, I'm just going to take Jahmyr Gibbs because I want a running back. And then it's pick 15 and you're like, well, I'm going to take Saquon Barkley, who I like, but I'm going to take Saquon Barkley or maybe even somebody like lower down the rankings, like Travis Etienne or something. because my leagues goes running back crazy when there's like stud wide receivers still on the board. So I'm okay with RB, but only if it's because 2 great RBs fell to you.
Yeah. I mean, you're asking, is it okay? Generally, yeah. I mean, it's okay to do that if you get 2 stud RBs. But you have to see how the draft goes.
Yeah.
And all the tight ends getting taken here. Can't even get Jelani Woods.
I was happy to get Otten as my tight end 3. I like my Frankenstein tight ends.
Yeah, right.
I actually like this team. I'm actually feeling pretty good about this team, which means it'll probably be dead by week 3.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes, right? Oh man. Okay, so my question is, do I take the 0 for week 12 at tight end? Do I take a third tight end? Do I just get another running back? Do I just take Cam Akers and call it a day?
Cam Akers?
That's right.
Is he?
All right. Well, actually, a couple of questions here. NMB. Rank these guys: Debo, Waddle, DK, Cup.
Waddle. Sorry, but I'm putting Debo over DK still. Waddle, Debo, DK, Cup would be my rankings.
Yeah, I'm putting Cup last. You can't just ignore the risk there. I'm putting Waddle first. I think for now, I'm okay. I like DK where he's going, but I will put Debo ahead of him too. So I guess we got the same. Waddle, Debo, DK, Cup.
All right, I'm probably going to have way too much Justice Hill this year, but I have Henry. No, wait, I have Henry. Never mind, I can't draft him. CH, Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason is starting to get some buzz, and I haven't drafted any Jordan Mason yet. Let's just grab a share of him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
By the way, we had some cold water poured on the Deneric Prince hype, I guess. Where they were asking Andy Reid about who could play the Jerick McKinnon role, and he said something like, we feel really comfortable about Pacheco in that role, and then he mentioned Clyde Edwards-Helaire also in that role. Nothing about Deneric Prince. It's like, oh, maybe CEH is still the RB2. I don't know.
Yeah, I figured it was too good to be true. All right, there it is. Mystery Irrelevant. It's Cam Akers.
All right.
Is Chuba a good value for 0 or hero RB strat? For 0 RB, seems like a great fit.
Yeah, I think Chuba will be the RB1 to start the season. So yeah, if you're in a 0 RB build, I think he's definitely a good pick. Yeah.
All right. So this draft is over. Let's get to the teams. We'll break down our squads. Let's talk about this BBM5 build. You went Burrow and Geno Smith to back him up. Obviously, no concern about the injury. Seems like it's not a thing anymore, but also not worried that Sam Howell is going to pry the job away from him.
No, not worried about any of that. Not worried about it. I just need Geno Smith to be good in week 12. That's it. Just be good in week 12.
Well, yeah, hopefully that's the only time you need him to score. All right. Derrick Henry, B-Rob, Javonte, Marshawn Lloyd, Ty Chandler, Jordan Mason. I like those running backs like this. I think this definitely qualifies as hero/anchor RB, but I do like all those backup running backs. I'm big on Marshawn Lloyd. And even though I did take Aaron Jones, and I think Aaron Jones will be good when he's on the field in a best ball, Ty Chandler definitely could have some juice. So you feel good?
Yep. I feel good. This kind of running back room I like. Give me that one guy that hopefully stays healthy all year and carries my team, and then a bunch of guys behind him, just spike weeks, handcuffs. Yeah, exactly.
All right. And then you got the Chase stack, Olave and Higgins too. Terry, Watson, Jason, and then Mims. Man, I mean, when you can get Terry as your 4th, Watson as your 5th, and Jason as your 6th receiver, you're pretty good.
Yeah, again, I never go into a draft saying like, I'm going to do hero RB. the wide receiver, I just felt like the wide receivers kept falling to me, so I kept taking them. But I'm very happy with this wide receiver room. I ended up getting Burrow, Chase, and Higgins plus Marvin Mims for that bring back in week 17. Who knows? Maybe that's the week where Marvin Mims randomly catches 2 long touchdowns.
You never know. I did notice, because obviously you took Chase Higgins, same team. You got Olave, your first 3 receivers, all the same bye week. Again, that in a redraft league, that might be an issue, but you don't really even think about that.
No, not here because, again, I mean, okay, yeah, so on week 12, I'm going to be missing those guys, but hopefully, McLaurin, Watson, hopefully 3 of those 4 guys at least do something. But even if they don't, it's fine. It's, it's just 1 week. It's not like I'm going to take a 0 at wide receiver for week 12. I still have other wide receivers.
Yeah, I do think to some extent worrying about bye weeks is overrated. You just need those big games out of guys. If you have a low score from a position for a week, it could happen even when they're not on bye, right? Guys get hurt. So I think worrying about that is not too necessary. And then tight end, the Muth, Noah Fant, and Cade Otton. This is a 3-headed monster that will actually probably exceed expectations.
Cade Otton, 20 picks below ADP. Nice. Didn't even realize that. Picked him.
That's crazy. All right. So another team. And I do feel like you did differentiate a little bit. I know you started out kind of similar, but it's hard to really it's hard to start out too different when the same players are going in the same order. All right. So one of my favorite QB duos, I got Love and Tua, because I didn't have to take a quarterback to almost pick 100. And I like them both. CMC, Aaron Jones, Blake Corum, Chuba, Vidal, Lobb, and course, my boy Cam Akers. Besides that last pick, what do you think of these RBs?
Yeah, again, I mean, a definite hero RB, which I think is the thing to do with CMC. Jones, again, you got guys behind them that can have spike weeks. They're handcuffs with upside if something happens. So, other than maybe Cam Akers, but I like it.
I didn't consciously do this, but it looks like, I got those 3 rookies, and I went with guys who, if things break right, or things break wrong for Kyron Williams, Corum is the league winner. If Gus Edwards gets hurt, Vidal could be the guy. Who knows? We'll see. But I guess I felt more comfortable doing that with CMC at the 1.
For sure.
Waddle, DK, Pickens, Brian Thomas, Dobbs, D-Rob, and Jalen Tolbert. This is exactly the type of receiver core I want in best ball.
Yes, a lot of weekly upside here. A lot of boom bust potential. I like that Tolbert pick. He's getting a lot of buzz in camp from Mike McCarthy that he's looking pretty good. So maybe we're going to see a Tolbert year 3 breakout. Somebody's got to step up there. So I definitely like that.
Yeah, like Thomas, I think it's the first time, maybe second time I've drafted him in Underdog with all my drafts. Not taking him in redraft, really. I'm not. Dobbs, maybe, but I got him just to stack with Love. And then I decided to go with Dalton Kincaid, Ty Conklin. Bye-week thing, forget it. Not worried about it.
Look, so week 12, you get a 0 at tight end. It's fine. It's not gonna. Yeah. Hopefully, it doesn't make or break anything. It probably won't.
No, I'm not too worried about that. I don't like the fact that I took Conklin so much earlier than ADP, but I did timeout just so everyone's clear. That's why.
Yeah.
But overall, actually, I like my team, and I did get some different players that I haven't gotten before. So, but you know what? I think we should do another one. Let's do it again. Do it again next week. We'll keep doing Underdog drafts. Best Ball Mania 5 is still plenty of openings. Not nearly full. Good thing for you, right, Chris?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have to scrap down to I don't know if I can get 150 in. We'll see. I'm gonna have to be a streaming monster, a drafting monster here.
You sure are. You might need a couple of sleepless nights, but I have faith in you. You can do it. All right. If you didn't get in on this one, if you don't know what it's about, or maybe now you know what it's about, you want to join Underdog because you haven't already, try it out. Trust me, it's a lot of fun. You can definitely win some money. You can do the best ball drafts. You can do pick'ems. You can do any sport that's out there. Again, if you haven't joined Underdog yet, this is the perfect time to do it before the season starts and all sorts of new promotions come out, free picks, all of this stuff. So just make sure you use promo code ENDGAME when you do sign up, because that gets you your first time deposit match up to $250, bonus cash, and this free new customer specials as far as picks. And then maybe next time you jump in here with us and we'll see how it goes. Thanks everybody watching. We'll do a regular mock draft on the Sleeper again this week, midweek. Put notifications on so you know as soon as we go live. All right. See you on the next one.